Kind of grainy, very grainy. Greetings. Welcome to Chant Day. Today's psalm is 25. Psalm 25. And Psalm 25 is titled Teach I the Paths of the Most High. So I'm traveling to a presentation I'm presenting today. So my camera looks kind of grainy. I'm not on my regular device. So this is what's happening. So we're going to get started with the psalm. And let me get my hot tea. So the psalm today is 25. Teach I Jah paths. So it's about 22 verses, okay? And I believe I have read this one already. However, I'm going to go ahead and read it through again. I want to ask that my words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart is acceptable to Jah sight, and that you out there listening, it is about 5:20 my time, and we're going to get started with Psalm 25. So, to Jah, because it's speaking of you, and I take the pronouns out. So, to Jah, I lift up I life. Oh my Jah, oh my God, Jehovah, in the Most High I trust. Let I not be put to shame. Let not I enemies exult over I. Indeed, none that wait for the Most High shall be put to shame. Ones will be put to shame and shall be ashamed who are wantonly treacherous. And I defined what wantonly was because I remember reading this one. Verse 4, make I to know Jah ways, O Jah. Teach I Jah paths. Lead I in Jah truth and teach I. For the Most High is the Almighty of I salvation. For the Most High I wait all the day long. Remember Jah mercy, O Jah, and Jah steadfast love. For Jah mercy and Jah steadfast love have been from of ancient. Remember not the sins of I youth or I transgressions. According to Jah steadfast love, remember I. For the sake of Jah goodness, O Jah. Good and upright is the Lord, is the Most High. Therefore, the Most High instructs sinners in the way and leads the humble in what is righteous, teaching the humble Jah way. All the paths of the Most High are steadfast, love, and faithfulness. For I who keep the covenant, the agreement, and Jah testimonies. For Jah name's sake, O Jah, pardon I guilt, for I guilt is great. Who is the one who fears the Most High? That one who fears the Most High will be instructed in the way that one should choose. The one who fears the Most High's life shall live and dwell in well-being. And the one who fears the Most High's offspring shall inherit the land. The friendship of the Most High is for those who fear the Most High and makes known, and Jah makes known to such ones Jah covenant, that Jah agreement. I eyes are ever toward the Most High. For the Most High will pluck I and I feet out of the net. Turn to I and be gracious to I and for I and lonely and afflicted. The troubles of I and heart are enlarged. Bring I and out of I and distresses. Think of I and affliction and I and trouble and forgive all I and sins. Now we know all of I and sins have been forgiven. So we go and what? Sin no more. Think about how many are I and foes, and with what violent hatred such ones hate I and I. Oh, keep I and life and deliver I and Let I and not be put to shame, for I and take safety in the Most High. May integrity and righteousness keep I and ancient, for I and wait for the Most High. Redeem I and O Jah, out of all I and troubles. Selah and Selah again. Here ends the psalm for today, Psalm 25. Teach I and the paths of the Most High. So that was the psalm today, and the word of the day is protection. But let's look at the verse of the day. The verse of the day is from Jeremiah 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Most High, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. So, knowing that, you are arming yourself with the knowledge that the Most High has plans for you to prosper you, okay, to make you flourish. For Jesus said that he came to give life and give it in abundance. So, because of that, we have to live our lives in service of Christ and to be Christ-like and to love that Almighty through the fear of the Almighty, that we may be delivered from our enemies. So that is the verse today from Jeremiah chapter 21 verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Most High, plans to prosper I and not to harm I, plans to give I hope and a future. Now, I'm going to testify here because just the other night I had went out to get something to eat, and there were some individuals who were staring at myself and my companion that was having dinner. And my thoughts were, oh my goodness, they want to harm us. They want to hurt us because they looked very nefarious in terms of they had something not good on their mind. So as I sat there, I focused on love. I focused on the knowledge of the Most High is not going to put me in harm's way. But before that, I started thinking, oh my goodness, what if they kidnap? All kinds of stuff negative started going through my mind. However, when I searched and I looked to be guided by love and not to hate, it was interesting because they left. They just like walked away. They walked away. It looks like they were kind of filled with alcohol, but they walked away. And when that happened, I just overcame with, uh, you know, this power that love is really the key. So instead of having hate and being confrontational or argumentative, I focused on love and I looked away from them and focused on love, and I sent them that love. I sent it to them. And because I sent that to them, I received it. I received that protection. We left dinner and returned safely to our dwelling place. So that's a testimony because the Most High does not have plans to harm you, but to give you a future. And that future is filled with love, kindness, compassion, and it is the future that is going to be of abundance. So you're not going to be, in a suffering, but in an abundance of protection. That brings me to the word of the day, protection. And that word, protection, we're going to look at as our word of the day from dailyword.com, protection. And that is what I generated by giving and showing love and kindness. I built that protection around me and around the individual I was with. Because, people do harm to people. People are out there thinking evil, plotting evil. And we want to be able to discern these characters. And when we discern them, because I discerned them and I didn't feel a good vibe, so I sent out love. I found it in my pinky toe and I sent it out, and that protection is divine. The word today, protection, my divinity is my protection. That echoes exactly what I'm talking about, and my testimony of what happened at dinner. So in for the word of the day, this is from dailyword.com. It's published by Unity Publishers. Go check them out. Every day they have a word, and they support it with a scripture. Today's scripture is from 1 John chapter 4, verse 4. And I love that because today's the 24th. Four is a very important number. It's the four seasons, four cardinal directions. My daughter was birthed on the 4th, and my oldest son, who passed away, was birthed on the 4th. So, and then a very beautiful woman, elder that has transitioned, was birthed on the 4th of March, that's coming up. So the 4 is a very interesting number when we look at it. So today, February 24th, the word is protection. And I ask that my words and the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart is acceptable to the Most High. It may not be acceptable to ones out there, because ones may not know or be aware of the translation of the psalm in taking out pronouns and putting in what is that word. So the you, the yours, we replace it with the original. So the original is the best. All the copies of the original gets kind of watered down. So we want to uplift the word by taking out the pronouns. So as I read the word of the day, I will do that. When I seek to protect I and I self with the things of the world, I and I feelings of safety may be fleeting and impermanent, meaning it may not be always there. However, when I find protection, I and I protection in the power and presence of God. And what is God? Love. So I and I can relax knowing no lasting harm can ever befall me. That is echoing exactly what I mentioned in my testimony. As I and I commit to righteous living, I and I feel any fear I had been carrying start to fade from I and I awareness. So even though I first was afraid of these two individuals, that faded away because I commit I and I life to a righteous life. And I feel any fear I had been carrying will start to fade from I and I awareness. Now, in the place of fear, in the place of fear, a quiet, uh, 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 you know, I don't want to use the word confidence, but a surety um, starts to grow and fill I and I awareness. Instead of consciousness and confidence, I use awareness. This awareness is a whisper from the divine that there is nothing and no one to fear. That I and I protection rests in the life of God. What is God? Love. What is love? Kindness, mercy, compassion. These are the actions of that love. I keep the nature of the world in perspective, protecting I and I self accordingly. However, I place I and I faith in God, in Jah, in Jehovah, in Jesus, because that is where love rests and find I and I safest place. So when we talk about the word today, protection, it echoes exactly what I testified of being out in public, having dinner, and individuals staring and looking like they wanted to, do something not good. And that first initial fear was faded because I found the love of the Most High bigger and more powerful than anything else in the room. So because of that, that those individuals disappeared out of the restaurant and they left. So when we look at the word today, protection is supported, as I mentioned, by 1 John 4:4. And 1 John 4:4 reads, little children are from the Most High God, and little children have overcome them. For the one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world. 1 John 4 verse 4. So what is inside of you is greater than those who are in the world, who are, in the worldly trappings of the world, sex, drugs, alcohol, fornicate, all of this worldly stuff, nakedness. And this particular restaurant that I went to, it was like a sports grill bar, and the waitresses were naked, literally. Their behinds were out, their breasts were out. I mean, they were naked, and it was a lot of men there. But I went to get something to eat, to have, some dinner, and that was like the only place nearby. So um, when I looked at that, I found that it was very low energy in terms of um, the physical attributes that were around me. However, I felt strong in the Most High that I am not of this world. I may be in it, and I was in it. I was in there, they're walking around half naked, but I'm not of it. I'm not of that. So I kept love in my heart, in my all over me. I just magnified that love and kindness. And when I listen to 1 John 4 verse 4, little children, you are from God and have overcome them. And who is them? Them is, the things of the world, all these trappings of the world. For the one who is in I and I is greater than the one who is in the world. So you should not be afraid of things of the world, or individuals that may seem nefarious that you come up against. However, you should know that love and kindness and mercy and compassion is going to overcome that fear. So I give thanks for the word. I ask that my words and the meditation of my heart and the words of my mouth are acceptable to the Most High. And the word protection today, go out there today and find little pockets of experiences that is going to pull that love out of you into the space that you occupy. So give thanks for the word of the day, protection, the verse of the day from Jeremiah. For I know the plans I have for the eye, declares the Most High, plans to prosper, plans to give life and a future. So that is, and I see it in the work that I'm doing, in the manifestation that I'm receiving. And the Psalm today, beautiful Psalm 25, we looked at today. Teach I and I the paths of the Most High, so that when I get out there, I can be able to, overcome these worldly trappings. So there's a song Bob Marley sings, give I the teachings of His Majesty. We don't want no devil philosophy. So, we don't want the teachings of the world, the way the world loves. We want the teachings of God, of Jah, of Jehovah, Jesus. We want those teachings. And when Jesus walked and taught, this is what Jesus taught: love of the Father. Is like you have to go to the Father. That is who sent me. And Jesus kept speaking that over and over again, that it's not me, this is not my will, but my Father's will be done, right? And that is the power of the Trinity, is that Father God, that Mother God, that lives within each of God's children, that manifests itself in the works that those children do. So when we look at the Psalm today, teach I and I Jah paths, we look at the verse today that talks about from Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. That's very powerful. And that protection of the word today, protection, all of it beautiful. So thank you for joining Chant a Psalm. And as we close out, we're going to close out with Steel Pulses, Chant a Psalm a day. Go out there and spread love, spread kindness, spread mercy, leave a footprint. I have a quote from Taraji P. Henson that really stood out to me, and I want to see if I can find it to share it. Yep, I have it right here. So it's a quote. She was on CBS Sunday Morning Interview, and her quote signifies this powerful need to, leave a legacy. And I'm going to share it here. Okay, Taraji P. Henson's quote. She speaks, what I'm doing is bigger than me. This is Taraji P. Henson quote, and I typed it. I listened and I typed it. Everything that we all do as humans in life is bigger than us. when we can get out of our way. It's about what footprint you're leaving and how you are making it better for the next person. How are you helping the next person? How are you pushing humanity forward? What legacy are you leaving? It's not just about you. Everything you do affects another person. It could be the way you say hello or the way you didn't hold the elevator for a person that could send them in a downward spiral. That's why we always have to err on the side of kindness, because you never know what somebody is carrying or what they are going through. And that's the end of the quote. So thank you to Raji P. Henson for that quote. I love it. I received that. And she started a foundation named after her dad, because as a child growing up, she said her dad always told her she was going to win an Oscar. He always spoke to her and told her she was great, and it became where she believed it herself. So when girls in child development, when girls have fathers that are empowering them and telling them that they are amazing and great and they can do this and they can do that, they become successful women when they grow into womanhood, because they have that from the opposite sex, that is their father figure, and it gives them awareness of their self power, and I don't want to say confidence, but it gives them that assurity that they're great. However, when girls don't have fathers that encourage them, their life gets challenged sometimes, not all the time. They go through a self denial that I'm not good enough or I'm not worthy, and they end up in relationships where they're being devalued. So it's important that young girls are built up with fathers that are giving them that empowerment. And how do we do that? We use language to do that. Taraji P. Henson spoke of her father telling her words of, giving her powerful words to uplift her. So that's a great example as I go into my presentation today about bridging and building relationships with students using language. How can we use language to empower each other? And I use language in a very intentional way, especially when we're working with infants and toddlers. So that's my chant asama day. I know it went into all these other areas, but I just want to speak rather. Thank you so much for tuning in. Subscribe to this channel, and we will be here again for another chant asama day coming up. Okay, I am gonna tune out now here. So as we close out with Steel Pulse, this is from their album True Democracy. Check them out, Steel Pulse. This song is called Chanta Sama Day. As we close out our psalm, have a blessed day, everyone. Remember, you have the power inside of you. One love.